Okay, everybody. I really don't want to make this video. It's gonna be really hard to make, but I have to. Um, 18, like somewhere between 17 and 18 transgender people have been murdered in 2015. It's currently August. That's the 8th month of 2015. August is not even over yet. Um, there's been 17 to 18 murders. The only reason I'm saying 17 to 18 is because one happened last year. They found the body this year. So let's just call it 18. There have been 18 murders of transgender people in the 8 months of 2015. So let's do some more math. If there's been 18 murders in 8 months, that means there has been a murder of a transsexual person or a transgender, gender nonconforming person every other week of 2015. Somebody murders a gender nonconforming person. And I'm going to go through these names because I have to. We have someone named Poppy Edwards of Indianapolis, Indiana, and Louisville, Kentucky. Gender nonconforming. We have Lamia Beard of Norfolk, Virginia. Ty Underwood. Yasmin Bash Payne. Ty Underwood was of Tyler, Texas. Yasmin Payne of California was found stabbed and burned to death in her apartment, and her boyfriend confessed to the murder and surrendered to police. We have Taha DeJesus, stabbed to death in San Francisco. She was 36 years old. Her murder was found hanging short distance away. Penny Proud of New Orleans, Louisiana, was fatally shot multiple times on February 10th. Bree Golek of Akron, Ohio, was stabbed to death by her father. Christina Gomez Reinwald was found dead in her apartment. The case was initially considered a suicide, but it's now being considered a homicide. We have Sumaya Z of Toronto, Canada. 26-year-old found dead February 22nd. If you notice, this is all February 3rd, February 10th, February 13th, February 15th, February 22nd. That's one every, We have Keisha Blige, a 33-year-old from Montgomery, Illinois. She was shot while driving and crashed while attempting to drive to the hospital. Vanessa Santillan was a 33-year-old from Miami. She was fatally beaten on the head and neck in her own apartment. Maya Hall was a 27-year-old transgender sex worker who was killed by police after taking a wrong turn in an SUV and crashing into a security post on the NSA's campus. They assumed that it was a terrorist attack and immediately opened fire on her. London Chanel was a 21-year-old, and she died in Pennsylvania, Philadelphia, after being fatally stabbed in the back and her neck by the boyfriend of one of her roommates. We have Mercedes Williamson, a 17-year-old who was murdered in George County, Mississippi. India Clark, 25 years old, found dead in a park in Tampa, Florida. Blunt force trauma. We have Casey Haggard, who is 66 years old, stabbed in the neck from a vehicle in Fresno, California. Amber Monroe, 20 years old, died in Detroit, Michigan on August 8th. This was her third time being shot, but her fear of police kept her from reporting the other crimes. We have Sade Schuler, 22-year-old woman of color, found in a field in Dallas, Texas on June 29th. There are no leads on the murder as her body was so badly decomposed it took 2 weeks to identify her. We have Alicia Walker, whose body was found in a shallow grave in Johnston County, North Carolina. And I know there's a couple more. Let me see if I can find them on my own Facebook right here. I'm just like, so... You know, I hear about these stories all the time. I follow a lot of transgender news sources, obviously. And, like, this is happening all the time, and I'm still just going to go right out and say, I see still very few fucking allies posting about this stuff. I see very few people posting about this stuff. Like, do you understand how painful it is for me, like somebody for whom this is actually something that, like, I worry about in the world, to, like, go online and see all these articles and be like, how is nobody posting about this? Like, nobody cares about this? Like, nobody cares. Everybody's just fucking posting about Bernie Sanders all damn day. Like, nobody cares about this issue. And I have to be the one, even though it's, like, so close to home for me, to farm this shit out. And then I have people coming at me being like, why don't you post positive stuff about you being transgender? Like, I feel like I'm going crazy, like, all the time. Like, I'm watching my community just disappear. And, like, there's a lot of, speculation as to whether maybe people are just better at reporting transgender murders, but that's not what's going on. Half these people in that list that I had just read, half of them, when they were murdered, they were still misreported. Like, and they had to go back and correct, like, actually, this person, if you talk to their friends, they identified this way, you were wrong, this was a transgender person. Like, so they're exponentially increasing. We have surpassed the number of murders in 2014 in 8 months in 2015 alone. Like, murder rate is going up. Like, there is a target on my back every time I leave my house. Like, this is the reality of being transgender. And, like, it's just the amount that I hear as a trans person of people talking about, like, they act like just because, like, Caitlyn Jenner's out that, we've reached some sort of equilibrium and, like, that there's gay marriage now, so, every single problem's fixed. Like, it's not. And I'm going to tell you, like, right now, because I believe in being somewhat solution-oriented, like, I can't solve these problems. Like, I cannot vote. Like, I cannot fucking vote. So all of y'all who, like, sit around and talk about how voting doesn't matter, I know your opinions, like, suddenly changed because of Bernie Sanders. Now all of a sudden you're like, oh, maybe I should vote. Maybe my voice does matter as a young person in America. Like, guess what? It always did. It always did, because you could vote, and you could have. Like, you could have voted in all these local elections. You could have changed the House. You could have had these people, like, in the House who care about transgender people and who care about black people. Like, you could have filled state legislators and local legislatures with those if you had cared about voting. Like, you could have done that. You could have, like, this wouldn't have been a problem. Like, it's insane. So some of the ways you can help, some of the things that are the reasons why transgender people are getting killed, a big one is the fact that people really don't understand what transgender people are. Like, what we are, who we are. Like, they don't understand what transgender is. And a big reason for this is because the T is lumped together with LGB when the T has nothing to do with that. So our concerns aren't even discussed. We're just continuously told by people even within the LGB acronym that, oh, like, we're doing it. Like, we're already getting equal rights. Like, so that needs to be separated. Our concerns need to be actually spoken about as concerns specific to transgender people that have nothing to do with cisgender people. I could have gotten married 3 years ago. I could have gotten married, like, before it was even legal because my gender markers are F. Doesn't affect me. The things that do affect me are being denied public housing, are being denied medical care, is being afraid of going to the doctor, like, because I'm transgender and they'll, like, treat me really weird or, like, not even see me, so that any medical problem I have can compound itself and become something much worse. And even, like, reproductively, I'm more prone to reproductive health problems. We need to go to the damn doctor. Like, we need equal access to the doctor. Equal employment access. I can get fired from any job in almost any state in this country for being transgender. Also, let's talk about the fact that makes a lot of us work in sex work. A lot of transgender people deal drugs. A lot of us do sex work, are either cam models, or we do escort work, or we do porn, or we do just, like, regular corner hooking or whatever, regular corner sex work. So all of these activities, because we can't get gainful employment, are forcing us into situations where we're at risk. And then also there's the little matter of the fact that trans fucking panic defense is still a legitimate defense for murdering someone in 49 states in this country. So if you were to murder me, you could say, I was freaked out because they were transgender, and that is a legitimate murder defense that you can take in court, and your lawyer can, like, actually back you up on. So these are the issues, like, this is why we're getting killed all the time. Like, these are the things that you can actually vote for candidates who want to change these things, who want to make it illegal to bar us from certain bathrooms and make us go to bathrooms that would endanger our life, that would make it illegal to discriminate against us in the workplace so we could actually get and have gainful employment, that would make it, like, illegal to say that you were scared of us and that's why you murdered us. Like, You can vote for people who believe these things. Like, please, if you are cisgender, if you have the fucking right to speak and to vote about these things because you have a degree of separation from them, because you can legally vote, do it. Like, if you come across these articles about transgender people being murdered, you share it. If you hear people telling jokes about transgender people, talking about training this, training that, you shut them the fuck down. Like, you have to. Like, because we are dying. And it is life and death for my community. Like, and we need help. Because a lot of times, like, I'm stealth at work right now. I just started a new job. And I gotta listen to people being like, oh, well, I have no problem with transgender people, but just, you know, if you're in a public bathroom, and I'm standing there looking at them like, you don't even know. Like, you don't even know that I'm standing here and I'm transgender. Like, like, I can't even, like, finish this video. I'm just so angry. Like, in a lot of situations, I don't have the room or the mental capacity or the energy or the degree of physical safety and, like, you know, the assurance that I'm not going to get fucking killed to say something. When you do. And if you do have that liberty, you fucking say something. Like, and you do something. And stop leaving it to us to do this, because we can't, because we're dying. Like, we're dying. And it's not stopping, and it has to. And I don't know. That's really all I have to say. I'm, like, so upset right now. Have a great week, y'all. I hope I do.